The legend that is Andy Cole, five-time Premier League champion with Manchester United. He won the Golden Boot in the 93-94 season and won the treble with Man U in 1999. He also sits fifth in the list of all-time Premier League goals with 187. So with that, how about we welcome in Andy Cole himself to Morning Footy. Jeff Troy, take it away.
Yes, we are talking goal-scoring royalty here. For Troy's money, I know one of the greatest strikers England has ever produced.
Most disrespected striker in English.
Not in this studio. It is Cole the Goal. Andy, good morning to you. Looking well, fella. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Thank you very much.
Now, this is a morning footy show. It's a tradition of ours. What do you have for breakfast?
This morning?
Most days, what's your breakfast of choice?
I'll be very, very honest with you. I usually have no breakfast. I usually have a cup of tea and I'm good to go.
Some people are suggesting centre-halves. Just eat centre-halves up and just throw them out.
Yeah, and destroyed plenty of them. Did you hear, as we went into the trivia, into the break, we had a trivia question. Who was the first player? Do you think you can answer the question? To top the charts for goals and assists in one season?
I believe it's myself.
Can you name the season?
I can just remember yesterday was Thursday, to be fair.
Hey, only 4 players have done it, so it's yet another record that you smashed. 93-94, that was the season. I think you had 34 goals and 13 assists, which is insane.
So you'd be worth about 200 million now, wouldn't you, in today's game for that?
Man, it's not for me to value myself, but if you're saying that, I'll go with it.
Tell us, what are you doing? What are you up to? What are you doing over here?
What am I doing? Obviously having the opportunity to come out here with the Premier League as well as Manchester United regarding the game tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And, continue to try and grow the game of football in the US. As we know, the World Cup was here and it was a very good World Cup. And I'm kind of like jumping on that bandwagon as well,
Coley, I want to talk to you about your club, Man United. Obviously, last season started off really poorly. Obviously, Michael Carrick's come in, a load of positivity. But I want to talk to you about the business that they're doing. For me, it's really smart what they're doing. They're not paying over the odds. They're picking their players very, very diligently. Do you think it will be a very good season this year? And if you do, what is a very good season for Man United?
I'm hoping that it is a very good season. I can't sit here now and say, right, Manchester United are going to win the league and win the Champions League and things like that, because I'll be talking outlandish, But ultimately, what Michael did back end of last season is get Manchester United in a position to qualify for the Champions League, propelled himself in a very good position in the end in the league. He's all positive. Now, I've just got to marry all that together come this season. A positive season, I've said, if Manchester United finish in the top 6, that is a positive season. Now, in the top 6, wherever that position is going to be from 1 to 6, you'll never know. But if you have the opportunity, again, to finish in the Champions League spot, I think no doubt everyone will be happy with that. And a strong run in one of the cup competitions. As you know, to be able to win a cup is always very, very special. Well,
it's your area of speciality. Tell me, do you think United have got enough up top? Is there enough goals in that team for you right now? And also, going into the Premier League season, who's your top 3 strikers in the Prem right now?
Well, first and foremost, I'm hoping they do have. But I've been asked this question quite a bit, and I've always said I was very lucky when I joined Manchester United, to be brutally honest. Previously, before I joined, I played with Wayne Allison and players like that, Jakanowski, Leroy Rossini at Bristol City, moved to Newcastle, played with Peter Beardsley. And by the time I got to Manchester United, I played with Cantona, Hughes and McClare. So I'm learning my trade. I'm learning my trade of some fantastic players. I'm looking at Manchester United now, and you've got to learn your trade on the job. And as you know, Manchester United in previous years has always been a bit of a graveyard for centre forwards. So to go in there at such a young age, it is tough. But I believe what they have there at the moment, he's more than good enough. I think back in the last season, he started proving himself, scoring goals. And long may that continue for him.
Who do you think is the biggest challenger to Erling Haaland for the Golden Boot this season?
The biggest challenger? Do you want me to be brutally honest? I don't think he has one. I don't think he has one. I think the way Manchester City have set up for him, and I compared it to my time at Newcastle. You know, the team was built around that individual scoring goals. And when I was at Newcastle, the team was built around me to score goals. And I think Haaland's in that position whereby majority of the chances are played and made for him. But he plays majority of the game, so you always got a great opportunity of scoring loads of goals.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've gone Isak as the only one really that could push him a little bit, because I think Liverpool could be in that situation now, trying to find the goals with no Salah and no Ekitike. So that's the only reason there. But you brought up Newcastle and I brought up Isak for a reason. I just wanted to take you back. Obviously, this weekend, Newcastle versus Liverpool, first and foremost, going to be an emotional day because of what's happened to Kevin Keegan, and the fans get to give their respects, and I hope that goes unbelievably well. I just wanted to talk to you about going back to a club that once loved you, but with the pressure and the expectation to go and score and deliver. How is that for a player? Because only you can talk to that. I never had that luxury.
I think when I went to Newcastle, and I've said this quite a bit recently, that there was two major things for me. I remember when they come in for me, and I was saying to myself, Newcastle's far. Yeah, and then I spoke to seriously, I spoke to Lee Clark, and Lee Clark was my big mate, and he said to me, "Look, Coley, I'll look after you." So it wasn't just Kevin saying like, "Come to Newcastle." When Lee Clark said to me, "Look, I'll look after you," I said, "All right, then I'll go to Newcastle." But I never understood just how much they loved the goal scored till I actually went there. So I was really under no pressure. I didn't feel under pressure. I just went there to enjoy myself, and I was fortunate. The season they got promoted, I got 12 in 12. And then the season when they got promoted into the Premier League, I ended up obviously getting 34 goals. And for me personally, it couldn't have gone any better, but the team was built for me. So I would never sit and say, oh, yeah, it was all about me, because it wasn't. It was about the players that I played with, the way the team set up, and the way the chances were created for me to score goals. So it was for me just to get myself in the right positions.
But you know, when you went to Man U, was to the piece I'm talking, when you went to Man United after having that and then came back, how was that feeling? Because I feel like Isak's loved, very similar to what you were saying. He's left under a bit of a different circumstance to what you left in, and now he's going to go back to a hostile environment. How was that as a player? Because you want to go and play and score, but you love the place as well, right?
Yeah, I think that the first time I went back to Newcastle, I wasn't sure what kind of reception I was going to get, and yeah, I got a reception that was a little bit in between. But like I've said many, many times, you know, it was totally out of my hands. I've always said when it comes to football, if a manager decides to sell you, you move on. Isak's situation's a little bit different. He decided to force himself out of a football club. You know, we all make decisions in life. If I was in that position, would I do that? Most probably not. You know, because I'm at a club for a reason. I'm not going to try and force myself out to move to somewhere else. If a club comes to that decision to move me on, well, it's totally different. So when he does go back, yeah, he'll get a hostile reception, no doubts. But it's for him just to get his head down and concentrate on what he needs to do for Liverpool.
You and I swapped messages, and I know how upset you were with Kevin Keegan's passing. Just how emotional occasion do you think this will be? This is at Liverpool and Newcastle United. And also, when you think of Kevin, what do you tell people about Kevin, about the type of guy he was, and why he was so universally loved?
I always say to people about Kevin was his energy. You know, wore his heart on his sleeve. You know, a real special man who, for me personally, gave me the opportunity to play in the Premier League. And I will always be indebted for him to do just that. Yeah, a real nice guy. I know a lot's been made of, obviously, when I end up leaving Newcastle and the little disagreement me and Kevin had, but he never held that against me. You know, we used to do a bit of TV work as well, and we always had a conversation. We always had a laugh and joke, you know, and he never held it against me. So for me personally, he will always be a special individual for me. Always believed in me. I remember he always used to say to me, you know, what you can do with your career is down to you, and I will help you in that direction. And he did just that.
Yeah, Andy, just been told I need to ask you a question, mate, and I'm going to try and read off the prompter here. This has never happened in my career before, so if this goes bad,
all the best.
Just keep rolling with the punches, yeah? So, Andy, tell us again what you're doing here with the Premier League and Coast to Coast this weekend, please.
What am I doing? Well, as we all know, football in the US is growing. You know, that the Premier League is worldwide. You know, so having the opportunity to come in with the Premier League and obviously Manchester United to showcase Manchester United's first game against Hull, you know, tomorrow. Looking forward to it. And it's always good to see the game going as much as it is. Kind of like half envy it, to be fair. When we were playing, you know, having the opportunity to come to the US to play and showcase our skills, we didn't really have that opportunity. But I'm here in a different way now. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Hull City are, as one of the promoted sides, one of the favourites for relegation. There's a few clubs being talked about. A few people are talking about Newcastle United getting dragged into the fight because of the turmoil that's gone on, the players that left. Do you worry for your old club?
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, to be fair. I think possible with Newcastle, the success come a little bit too early, i.e. the Champions League and things like that. And then season in, season out, the fans expect that. And when it doesn't happen, they get a little bit disillusioned with it. Winning the cup, that was long overdue for me, for Newcastle to win the cup. So looking at this season, they might be in it. It all depends on how they start. I think losing Eddie Howe, for me personally, is not the thing I would have expected. And bringing a new manager who hasn't managed in the Premier League, that's tough in itself. So, you know, like I said, it all depends on how they start. But I wouldn't want to see Newcastle in that position. But football is one of those games you just never know.
Well, as always, it's not only great to talk to you, pal, but a privilege as well. Because when it comes to talking goals,
no one better.
Nobody knows better. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it, Andy.